The history of this building goes back to 1792. 60 years or so after Savannah was founded, this structure at 202 West Bay Street was built. In the 200 plus years since then, it's been everything from a private residence to a grocery to a law practice. Beginning in 1968, it sat vacant for 10 of the next 12 years. In 1980, it became a restaurant called the Chart House. You know, when we first decided to do a haunted episode of Eat It and Like It, the restaurant name that we heard most often was the Chart House, actually. Then one night when we came down here to get some exterior shots of the building for production of the episode, people in this area saw the cameras pointing at that building and they knew exactly why we were here. They'd heard the stories before. A lot of them weren't interested in appearing on camera, but they had plenty to say. They either had a friend or a relative who at some point worked in this building and had either witnessed or heard about some of the most intriguing signs of activity you'll find in this city.
I would say definitely as far as haunted restaurants in Savannah, the Chart House restaurant is definitely one of the most haunted.
Ryan Dunn is a ghost hunter in Savannah, but hasn't always been. He and his wife moved to Savannah half a dozen or so years ago, and it didn't take long for him to experience the unexplainable.
My wife and I moved into a haunted house in Savannah. It was built in 1890, probably about 2 blocks from Forsyth Park. And it only took a few weeks to know that there's something in our house we couldn't explain. And over the years, it's led to a passion in trying to really figure out what we were dealing with.
In no time at all, he was fascinated. One of his first major investigations was at the Chart House.
There was a kitchen manager named Rob Britton that used to work there. Rob was opening with another guy one morning, going about their duties, and they heard a lot of commotion coming from the 4th floor supply closet. They refused to go and check it out, so they waited outside for Billy, the GM, who came in about an hour later, and they had called him and said, "You need to get here, there's something going on upstairs." Well, all 3 men go upstairs, open the door. Everything that had been on the shelves was thrown into the floor, and it was a complete mess. So Billy had the idea that they were going to lock the door. He's going to help the guys with their opening duties. They come back in an hour or 2 and clean the mess up. Well, a couple of hours go by, they go back upstairs and unlock the door. But when they opened the door, everything on the floor had been symmetrically stacked up against the back wall.
Ryan and his crew were allowed inside of the Chart House. We were not. We were unable to secure corporate approval to show you what these employees saw and where they saw it. But Ryan did. He saw it and he heard it. Listen closely to this recording as it rolls on unattended inside of the Chart House. You can hear a little girl asking if she can play.
Where'd Brandon go? He go upstairs?
The former sous chef who witnessed the ransacked storage closet says he saw a number of other things inside the Chart House until he moved away and now lives on Hilton Head Island. We're told he took it somewhat personally. The amount of activity he witnessed in there was at times too much to handle.
I definitely believe if you would have asked me the same question maybe 5 or 6 years ago, I definitely would have been on the fence. I've always been a hardcore skeptic and I have to see it to believe it. But after doing so many investigations, spending the night in all these haunted locations, I definitely have no doubt there's something in Savannah that we can't explain.
It's unlikely you'll ever look at the Chart House the same way again, but if you do, just keep in mind you're not alone.